why they no longer call upon us. The gods shift uneasily on their thrones, eyes narrowing. Humans in the deserts, she continues, have found something we overlooked. Something buried deep in the sands. A murmur spreads among the gods, each whisper growing louder. Medidin, the council god, rises from his throne, eyes blazing. "What are you suggesting, Gaia?" he demands, gripping his staff tightly. "That mortals mere humans have tapped into powers beyond our control." Gaia's gaze remains steady, her expression unreadable. "Not beyond our control," she replies, "but beyond our understanding. They no longer need us as they once did." Ahrit, the god of water, laughs bitterly. "Ridiculous. They survive by our grace alone. Without the rains I send, without the rivers I carve into their lands, they would perish. This talk of hidden power is folly. They survive by their own will," Gaia counters, her voice firm. "They have learned to draw life from the barren ground, to dig deep into the earth and find the waters we did not give. They have discovered ancient secrets we thought long buried." The gods exchange glances, uncertainty creeping into their expressions. Medidin steps forward, his voice echoing through the desert. "If what you say is true, Gaia, then they defy the natural order. We are the keepers of power, not them. We must bring them to heel." "No," Gaia retorts sharply, her eyes flashing. "You do not understand. They have not stolen power from us. They have awakened it within themselves. It was always there, waiting for them to find it." The gods sit in stunned silence, Gaia's words hanging in the air like a storm cloud. Ahrit clenches his fists, eyes locked on Gaia. "Awakened power within themselves? You speak as if they are our equals. Mortals are nothing but fragile beings, barely scraping by in the lands we shaped." Gaia meets his glare, unfazed. "You underestimate them, Ahrit. While you look down upon their struggle, they have grown. In the deserts, they have discovered how to draw water from the depths, channeling it with skill and knowledge. In the mountains, they have learned to harness the earth's energy, the very forces you dismiss." Medidin raises an eyebrow, stepping forward. "And how do you know this, Gaia? Have you interfered in their affairs?" His tone is accusatory, seeking to trap her in a lie. "No," Gaia responds calmly. "I have not interfered. I merely watched as they adapted. They sought knowledge within the earth itself, and the earth responded. It is their will to survive that drives them, not my intervention." The gods shift uncomfortably, some casting doubtful glances at one another. Ahrit sneers. "And you would have us believe they did this without our gifts? Without divine guidance, they would have remained in the dust, groveling for every drop of rain. Yet they have not," Gaia counters. "They have risen. They've learned to find what lies beneath the sands, to harness the energy in the mountains. They no longer depend on us for survival. They have made the earth their ally." Medidin slams his staff into the ground, sending a shockwave through the sand. "Then they must be put back in their place." He roars. "They defy us, and in doing so, they disrupt the balance of the cosmos. We must act before they overstep their bounds." "Overstep their bounds?" Gaia repeats, her eyes narrowing. "Or have they simply discovered their true potential? They do not wish to overthrow us, Medidin. They seek only to carve out their existence, to master their world as best they can." Medidin glares at her, his voice dropping to a cold whisper. "And what happens when they believe they no longer need us at all? When they turn to these hidden powers you speak of, and decide the gods are nothing but relics of an old age?" A hush falls over the oasis, the gods shifting in their seats. Ahrit rises, pointing an accusing finger at Gaia. This is your doing. You have encouraged their defiance, filled their minds with ideas of independence. You've let them grow arrogant. Gaia remains unflinching, her voice calm yet firm. I have done nothing but allow them to choose. They have found these powers on their own. Powers we left behind long ago, buried deep within the earth. It is their will that has uncovered them, not my influence. The gods stir, whispers passing between them. Medadine tightens his grip on his staff. If they have truly tapped into something ancient, then it is beyond mere mortal capability. They must be reminded of their place. Or, Gaia interrupts, her eyes blazing, we must acknowledge that their place is changing, that they are not the helpless beings you wish them to be. They are evolving, becoming something more than we ever anticipated. Aharit scoffs, turning away. Then they are a danger. We cannot allow them to wield powers they do not understand. It will bring chaos to the world. Chaos? Gaia echoes, a hint of defiance in her tone. Or change? They have survived the deserts, the mountains, and all the trials we've thrown at them. They have learned to harness what lies beneath. Perhaps it is we who do not understand. The gods fall into an uneasy silence, the desert winds swirling around them. Gaia stands tall, her eyes scanning the council. You fear what they might become, but I tell you this, they have only just begun to awaken. What they choose to do with this power will define not just them, but us as well. Medadine's eyes darken. Then you truly believe they have surpassed their mortal bounds? No, Gaia says softly, yet with conviction. I believe they are redefining what it means to be mortal. And that terrifies you. The tension hangs thick in the air, each god wrestling with Gaia's words. Medadine turns to the other gods, his voice sharp. You hear her. She speaks of mortals finding ancient powers as if it is a natural right. Powers that we, the gods, sealed away for a reason. This awakening cannot be tolerated. Gaia steps forward, the desert wind lifting her robe, causing sand to swirl around her. You sealed away those powers because you feared them, she counters. But humanity does not fear. They seek out the unknown, face it with courage, and bend it to their will. Aharit shakes his head furiously. And what happens when they unleash a force they cannot control? They'll bring ruin upon themselves and this world. We as gods have a duty to maintain balance. Gaia laughs softly, an almost sorrowful sound. Balance? No, Aharit, you seek control, not balance. The humans have learned to harness what lies within the earth, the power of nature itself. It is not chaos they unleash, it is life in its truest form. The gods exchange uneasy glances. Some nod in silent agreement, while others clutch their thrones as if the revelation were a storm threatening to sweep them away. Medadine narrows his eyes, his voice cold and calculating. Then tell us, Gaia, what exactly have they found? What is this power you claim they've awakened? Gaia takes a deep breath, her eyes glowing with an ancient light. They have tapped into the veins of the earth, the lifeblood that flows beneath the sands and mountains. They have discovered how to call upon the very forces that shaped this world. Water, fire, stone, these elements respond to their will now. A gasp rises from the council. Gods lean forward, disbelief etched on their faces. Impossible. One cries. Mortals cannot command the elements. Such power is beyond them, beyond them. Gaia's voice rises, sharp as a blade. It was never beyond them. It was simply hidden, locked away by your fear. You buried these secrets deep within the earth, thinking them lost to time. But humanity has found them. Medadine steps back, the color draining from his face. They control the elements, Gaia nods. in ways you cannot fathom. They summon water from deep within the desert, shaping rivers where there were none. They mold stone to build cities within the mountains. They have turned the forces of nature into tools, weapons, life. They have become the masters of their world. Ahrit stumbles, his expression shifting from rage to shock. But they are mortals. How can they wield such power without divine guidance? Because, Gaia says firmly, her eyes piercing through the gods' disbelief, they learned to wield it through struggle, through necessity. They faced the harshest of trials, the deserts and mountains, and in doing so, they awaken the power that sleeps within the earth. It is not divine guidance they need. It is freedom. Medadine looks around, seeking support from the other gods, but he finds only doubt in their eyes. This cannot be, he mutters. If they control such power, then they pose a threat not just to themselves, but to the cosmos. We cannot let this stand. You have no choice, Gaia states, her voice echoing across the desert. You cannot take back what they have learned, what they have become. This power was never yours to keep. It was always theirs to discover. They have not stolen from us. They have merely reclaimed what was once theirs. The gods reel, struggling to process the magnitude of Gaia's revelation. Ahrit clenches his fists, his body trembling. Then they must be stopped before they wield this power against us. If they are allowed to continue, they will challenge the gods themselves. Gaia's eyes flash with defiance. They have no desire to challenge you, Ahrit. Their fight is not with the gods, but with the world that seeks to bind them. They seek only to carve their own path, to live by their own will. Medadine raises his staff, pointing it toward Gaia. Then you have doomed them, Gaia. You have unleashed a force that will consume them. They will lose themselves to this power, and when they do, they will turn on each other and on us. Gaia steps forward, her gaze unyielding. No, Medadine. They will not lose themselves. They have already faced the darkness, the chaos of the desert, the unyielding stone of the mountains. It is through this struggle that they have found their strength, their unity. Silence falls, the gods exchanging looks of fear, doubt, and awe. Gaia's words ring out, clear and resolute. You cannot stop them. Humanity has awakened to a power that is not ours to control. The earth has answered their call, and they have become its masters. We must accept that the age of gods ruling from thrones is coming to an end. A new age has begun, an age where mortals wield the power of creation. Medadine tightens his grip on his staff, a storm brewing in his eyes. So, what now, Gaia? He challenges. We simply watch as they wield this power, reshaping the world without our guidance. Without our control, Gaia stands tall, her gaze steady and calm. We watch and learn, she responds. They have shown us that power does not belong solely to the gods. They have proven that even in the harshest of environments, life can find a way. They are not our adversaries, they are a force of nature. Ahrit shakes his head in disbelief, frustration etched across his face. But how can we trust them? They are unpredictable. If left unchecked, they could bring ruin to themselves and to the world. You speak of trust, Gaia replies, her tone firm, but it is you who fears losing control. Humanity does not seek to destroy, they seek to survive, to thrive. They do not require us to guide every step. They have become the stewards of their destiny. A murmur spreads among the gods, some nodding in reluctant agreement, while others remain skeptical. Medadine gazes at Gaia, searching for any hint of doubt. And if they turn this power against us? If they rise to challenge the gods themselves, Gaia's eyes gleam, a flicker of something ancient and unyielding. Then they will be the first to challenge us in millennia. And perhaps They will teach us something we have long forgotten what it means to grow, to change, to evolve. The gods shift, discomfort spreading through the assembly. Medadine paces, his mind racing. You speak as if we should embrace their defiance, he mutters. As if we should welcome the end of our reign. It is not the end, Gaia corrects, her voice softening. It is the beginning of a new era. One where we, the gods, learn to coexist with those who were once our creations. They have become more than mortals. They are now partners in the shaping of this world. Ahrit glares, bitterness tightening his features. You romanticize them, Gaia. They will falter. They will destroy what they have built. You place your faith in something destined to crumble. Perhaps Gaia acknowledges, a hint of sadness in her eyes. But it is their choice to make, not ours to take from them. They have the right to succeed or fail by their own hand. Medadine raises his staff as if to make a final judgment. The air grows tense, the gods holding their breath. Then we shall watch, he declares, his voice heavy with reluctance. We will not interfere for now. But know this, Gaia, if their power threatens the balance of the world, we will act. Gaia nods, her expression resolute. As you will. But know this, Medadine, they are not the children you believe them to be. They are creators, dreamers, warriors. They have faced the darkness of the deserts and the mountains and have emerged with the strength of the earth itself. They will not be so easily subdued. The gods stir, uneasy, yet contemplative. Slowly, they begin to disperse, their forms fading into the sands and winds of the desert. Medadine lingers, casting a final glance at Gaia. You place great hope in them, he says, almost questioning. It is not hope, Gaia replies, turning to face the horizon. It is faith. Faith that they will find their way, as they always have. With that, she turns away, leaving Medadine to ponder her words as the desert winds carry the echoes of the gods gathering into the vastness.